On April 27, 2023, a resident of Las Vegas reported observing a set of mysterious glowing lights in the night sky. The radiant display, often associated with parachute flares or aviation exercises, raised suspicions of potential involvement by Nellis Air Force Base, Creech Air Force Base, or even Harry Reid International Airport. A spokesperson from Nellis Air Force Base denied conducting any training activities over the valley on the preceding night. Similarly, a representative from Harry Reid International Airport claimed to be unaware of any operations that could account for the unusual illumination in the night sky. The individual who captured the video recounted being in his backyard around 9 p.m. when he noticed the lights in the northwestern sky. He described the lights as significantly larger and brighter than typical tourist helicopters seen around the Strip. The lights lingered for approximately 5 minutes and then disappeared. However, this isn't the only occurrence of this event. 2 days earlier, on April 25, 2023, a similar formation was recorded by a different person. Taking a closer look, we can also notice how those lights seem to turn on and off randomly, just like in the first footage. The UFO community also considered the possibility that the lights could be flares. However, it was pointed out that flares typically do not hover for an extended period. Instead, they descend to the ground relatively quickly. Wrapping this case up, by having the official confirmation from the Air Force bases that no training was conducted around that time, we can already rule out a few mundane possibilities for this incident, increasing the possibility of being something out of this world. The Glass Orb. Moving on to Adelanto, California. In August 2020, 52-year-old contractor Andy Segovia was on his way to El Mirage Airfield when he encountered a mysterious 10-foot sphere hovering about 50 feet above ground. Using his iPhone 7, he captured a remarkably clear video of the object, which appeared as a silent, dark-tinted glass orb with a diameter of 6 to 10 feet. Initially thinking it was a balloon, Segovia approached and noticed it was untethered with no signs of propulsion or noise. After recording a 90-second video, he briefly went indoors for measurements and returned to find the object gone. Despite a thorough search, he couldn't locate it, speculating that it either vanished or swiftly departed. The witness also claimed that the object appears to be silver in the video, but according to him, it was actually black-tinted, and it was also emitting some form of heat waves, which couldn't be seen in the footage, given how far it was recorded from the object. If you watched the previous episodes of this series, you might recall a similar incident where another object, similar to this one, was seen hovering over the skies of western Nevada while also emitting heat waves and being completely stationary. Let's put both footages side by side. Could these two objects be related in some way, or maybe it's the same object in both footages? Now, moving back to the video from California, if we take a look at the metadata from the original video file, we can see that it was recorded at 7:08 a.m. on August 4, 2020, using an iPhone 7 Plus, and also revealed coordinates at El Mirage Field near Adelanto, close to Edwards Air Force Base, which has been a focus of extraordinary UFO stories dating back to 1957. The fact that this unidentified object was hovering in the skies with no sign of propulsion and completely disappeared with no trace in a matter of seconds raises questions about its nature or purpose, leaving this mystery yet to be explained. Rotating anomalies. In this footage, which was recorded and provided by a plane pilot, two luminous objects can be seen rotating and moving in a random pattern in the sky. Before we move further into the investigation, let's just rule out a few possibilities. There is no way of it being a plane, because absolutely no plane moves like that. Drones are also out of the question because these lights are so high in the sky and are maneuvering way too fast. Lastly, satellite reflections can also be ruled out, since these reflections move in a linear way. Adding more details to the video, the pilot who recorded it claimed that he discussed what he was witnessing with his colleagues, and they all confirmed that they were experiencing the same thing. One of the other pilots even claimed that at times there are up to 5 lights moving in random patterns. According to the pilot, this phenomenon is very common around the Middle East, the Arabian Peninsula, and the North Atlantic as well. Although the pilot posted this footage online in an attempt to get answers about this event, none were given, as this incident still remains unexplained to this day. South Wales UFO. Now let's move on to South Wales, where on September 17, 2016, a police force helicopter equipped with heat-seeking cameras recorded a spherical object moving around in an uneven pattern. The police officers involved in this case claimed that the unidentified object was flying against the wind at around 106 miles per hour and was completely undetected by air traffic control. The object was flying at around 1,000 feet and was only visible when the cops noticed it on the thermal camera, which they were said to be testing by pointing it at planes heading into Cardiff Airport. The entire encounter lasted around 8 minutes, and the footage shows the camera changing settings as the officers appear to try to identify the strange phenomena. Even though the crew was experienced, none of them managed to come up with a solid explanation for this event. The Costa Rica saucer.
William, William.
Now let's go back to 2007. Tarbaca, Costa Rica. Just around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, Marvin Badilla, a young carpenter, was working when he heard a strange buzzing that distracted him from his work. To his surprise, the young man saw that the source of the noise was about 100 meters away from him, and he quickly took out his phone and started to record it immediately. As Marvin was recording the unidentified object, he kept calling his colleague who was working with a drill, but he didn't hear him. After calling his friend one more time, Marvin turned back, and the object had already gone. The film that Marvin recorded on his Motorola V3 shows a classic flying saucer hovering just a few meters from the ground, and, according to him, it was about as large as the wheel of a large tractor. William Rivera, the carpenter who was working on the drill, assures us that Marvin was absolutely shaken as soon as the incident ended. The Flashing UFO. The next video on our list got a lot of attention online, but for a reason. In this footage, we have an object flashing a white, gold, and red light hovering over the night sky. According to the user who uploaded this footage, he did check if there were planes going around at the given time, but there were none. The possibility of it being a plane can also be discarded just by the way that object was moving. It was more hovering than moving in a linear way. Now, making things more interesting, another Reddit user responded to this video, asking where it was recorded because he claims that he saw something very similar in South Carolina. Are you in South Carolina? We've been seeing orbs that look like that around Spartanburg and Roebuck, South Carolina. I was just watching one dart in a triangle pattern about a quarter mile away. We'd flash a light at it, and it would respond. Then it took off down to tree level and disappeared. Then, 2 other Reddit users responded to this comment, claiming that they saw the exact same thing in North Carolina. Unfortunately, the original poster of this video didn't provide where this footage was recorded. However, going through the comments, it can be seen that this flashing object was witnessed a lot of times in North and South Carolina. What could possibly be going on over there? But now, if you made it this far into the video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to this channel. You can also support us by becoming a member by clicking on the join button below. It will help immensely. I also want to take a moment to thank all of the members of the channel. A big thanks to Paul Gardner II, the first supporter of Skywatch TV. With that being said, let's jump back to where we stopped. The white objects. Moving on to the next video, the original uploader claimed that he was testing new settings for his camera by recording some planes. However, seconds later, he managed to capture 2 unidentified objects by accident. The first one moved vertically at an amazingly high speed. Taking a closer look at the footage, it seems that the white object was moving above the clouds. Then, seconds later, another object moves in the opposite direction, also at a very high speed. Taking a better look at the second object, it seems that this one was above cloud level as well. Lastly, according to the uploader of this footage, the reason he was testing the camera was to try to catch the unusual activity that had been seen at the time in North Carolina. This claim aligns with the previous reports that we discussed earlier in this video, where shiny objects were constantly witnessed in that area. Taking one last look at the footage, The possibility of those objects being birds was also raised by the UFO community, but given how high they were in the sky and how fast they were moving in comparison to the plane, this guess is not very plausible. What do you think? And there you have it. A compilation of mysterious UFO videos from around the internet. Each sighting brings its own set of questions, leaving us to wonder about the mysteries that linger in our skies. What are your thoughts on these encounters? Share your insights in the comments below. Until next time, keep your eyes on the skies and stay vigilant.